So there's been a really interesting trend online, and I want to try a different video this time. So today I'm going to be talking about a question I have. Why is it so controversial for me to say, hey, I really like Xbox? Let's discuss. So I've been seeing all of these trends about people who like Xbox, people who tweet that, man, I'm playing my PS5 less and I'm playing my Xbox more, or I'm really impressed by Xbox this console generation, and people just happy with their console. And they're not even necessarily making a correlation to the PlayStation 5. And it just seems like the internet loses their mind when this happens. So for somebody like me to simply say, I am enjoying playing on Xbox. Um, that seems like it's controversial, which is very, very strange to me. I'm written off as being bought off. I just made a video where I say Returnal is probably my game of the year. I've made several very glowing videos about PlayStation games. But yeah, I am critical about some of the things that I don't agree with or strategically I think is a little bit off. And I would like to see Sony compete in certain areas that are, for lack of a better term, lacking. Like PlayStation Now would be a good example where I feel like they could greatly improve that service and offer something really excellent to users. Now, I think most of the people who watch this channel are pretty level headed and they understand where I'm coming from. I'm excited about Xbox's future. I say that very plainly. That is my personal opinion. Um, I think they have a lot of good stuff in the works. I just have a really good feeling, and that's just me talking as a human being, me to you having a conversation. Um, I don't I don't understand where it's coming off where that is is being heralded as some uh, uh, Achilles heel because I enjoy a console. I've been on Unlocked for 8 years, maybe 9 years. I there is an image of me that I made for a story where I, you know, basically I'll say chastised Xbox for having a lower base resolution over the base PlayStation 4. I have historically been very balanced in my clarity of my stance about very specific situations. And I think you would have to ask me about each individually to get my take. And if I don't know, I would just say I would have to do more research about this. I don't know. I took a few notes to sort of just discuss this video. There's a lot that I like about what Xbox is doing, and I'm excited about where they seem to be going. I wanted to be very clear about that. I am personally excited about Halo Infinite, and I think it's going to be a good game. That is my personal opinion. And I get crap for it a lot from a small voice of people, and that is very odd to me. My jokes are taken so seriously. So I want to talk about my Starfield joke back there, right? So originally I had a photo of Phil Spencer and I saw a tweet was trending where people were calling me a weirdo or just all this negative stuff. And I was sort of going along with the joke. And so I was like, oh man, that's too controversial for the internet. I'll put up something not controversial. And having a game that I'm excited for in a framed photo, it's just so odd to me that that is so contentious that videos or posts were made about it. Um, this is just me talking about stuff. And the idea that I'm not allowed or there's a perception that I'm supposed to be completely neutral to the point that I'm robotic about everything. I don't think that's realistic. I think naturally we all have um, preferences for the platform that we play on, for the types of games that we play. Like if you're going to ask me about JRPGs, I'm probably not going to be that into a JRPG. It's like I liked Final Fantasy 14 quite a bit. Is that a JRPG? Sure, then, but like Genshin Impact didn't really resonate with me, even though it has all the markings of a game like Destiny that I would love. Like we're just organically going to come to the conclusion that we like certain things that we like and we don't like certain things that we like. There's a lot that I love about the PlayStation 5. I love that it has great games. And sorry, just finishing my point on the photo. So I had the Phil Spencer thing up there as a gag. I did it as a Twitter post gag, and I left it up there. And it reminded me of Greg Miller, who had a picture of Shuhei Yoshida framed. He still has it framed in a lot of his videos. It's just a joke, you guys. I'm just trying to be humorous. I'm trying to give you a smile at the end of the day. And there's this perception that Destin as a person has to be completely neutral to the point that he's robotic. And I don't think that's really fair for me as a human being. I would like the opportunity to express my excitement for things, be that on whatever platform it's on. And I've done that consistently for my entire career. Uncharted 2, for example, going way back. Uncharted 2 was one of my favorite games of all time at that time period. The original Mass Effect, I've been consistent, is one of my favorite games story-wise. I've played through that series many, many times, and I hope you're enjoying it. So when I have these stances where I'm like, man, I'm really concerned that Sony is focusing all on AAA, I hope that the indie games don't get left by the wayside, and then that story evolves. Maybe I talk about that later. So, yeah, so the fact that there's such voracious commentary about people who are saying, hey, I'm really enjoying Xbox right now. As a father, I would recommend Xbox to people over the PlayStation 5 because you get a lot of bang for your buck. Somebody's saying that, and I think you know who I'm talking about, but I just don't want to target any more garbage towards them, for lack of a better term, because they've probably just been through the ringer, because they just said something, they just had an opinion on the internet, and I think that's fine. I don't really get upset when people have differing opinions from me. And one thing about this channel is, as I record these vlogs, and these are vlogs, these are not news reports. This is just me talking to the camera, loosely scripted, having a conversation with you. There was this guy, Odie, who actually went through one of my videos, and he was very clear about the mistakes that I had made, and he brought up some great opportunities for me to make new videos. He said that I was off on some of my math in one of the videos about the prophets. And I had some of my terminology wrong. And actually I recorded 2 of those videos that a lot of people have called me out on, rightfully so, because I did make a few math related, or I got the monthly active users wrong on Xbox. I pulled the Minecraft users as opposed to the Xbox users. And I really appreciated that he retracted his statement about that. But they're vlogs. I want to be able to talk about stuff and be excited. And my goal with this channel is to mostly post reactionary stuff about things that are happening in the industry, because I like having an outlet. I can't stream anymore. I don't have time with a new child, right? So this is my outlet to have my personal opinion, my personal take, and how I'm feeling about things going on in the industry. And I hope you'll allow me to continue that. Because I really enjoy it quite a bit. I really enjoy making these, and I really enjoy having these conversations with the community. And not everybody's going to be super happy with what I have to say or agree with me, and that's totally fine. I just asked, let's try and keep it respectful. And I'm not saying that one side is more respectful than the other or more disrespectful, but I will say this: both sides have gotten into some behavior that it's problematic, to say the least. For example, on the Xbox side, when Tom Warren said that Game Pass is not profitable, that is factual information. A loss leader, for example, in business strategy means you're selling things at a loss in order to garner a higher user base, right? So him saying that, that's just a factual statement. And it's likely true that Game Pass is not profitable. Now, again, I just talked about how I screwed up with math, so I'm not going to get into any numbers, but we won't know that until Xbox says something clearly. But one thing we definitely do know clearly is that Xbox consoles are sold at a loss. That's not controversial. That's true since the Nintendo Entertainment System was released, and it's just a standard practice. And guess what? The PlayStation 5 is also sold at a loss. So it's bizarre to me that it's pointed out that the Xbox is sold at a loss, but not the PlayStation 5. Guys, both consoles are sold at a loss. That has been a strategy since every console, I think. Loss resulting from strategic price points for PlayStation 5 hardware that were set lower than the manufacturing costs. I think part of it, so just to sort of wrap up my thoughts on everything, I don't think people saying that they're spending a lot more time on their Xbox than they are on their PlayStation 5 is controversial. PlayStation 5 is going to continue to have bangers. I'm going to continue having conversations with the community about how I'm feeling about what is happening in the industry, and I hope you'll be able to do that and be objective. I've been very clear about what I would like to see. I would like to see Sony offer better services than they already do, or come up with unique strategies to compete with what Xbox is building their suite of services. I do think, and I stick to this, I do think that Xbox and Sony are going to become closer to parity, and who knows what's going to happen long term. I personally would love to see both be immensely successful. And Odie, going back to Odie, who, man, he was really kind in his video responses where he went through and pretty methodical about it. I was surprised, to say the least, because usually with that type of stuff, you're like, oh no, this is going to be like a whole thing. But it was conversational. Honestly, I wish I would have been able to just talk to him, because I would be like, oh man, I didn't realize I did that. I'll be more careful in the future. And it was already something that I had determined when people were commenting and saying, hey, you got some of your statistics wrong. And I'm like, okay, so with statistics, Destin, you cannot just 1:30 a.m. record that video. You need to get your stuff in order. But yeah, the long and the short of it is, I don't understand why it's so controversial to say that you enjoy one platform more than the other. I don't think that means the other platform is bad. I don't think that means the other platform is unsuccessful. I think it's okay to be excited about the future for either platform. And like for me, I'm pretty balanced, man. There are some fantastic PlayStation games coming down the line. I am really, really excited for whatever Xbox is going to show at E3. We are on the cusp of a big industry season, and I think people are really, really excited. So I guess what I'm saying is maybe try and give each other the benefit of the doubt. We're all doing our best. I don't want to be a robot. I want to be passionate about things, and I'm going to continue doing that. So if that's problematic for you, I apologize. No, I mean, I'm just going to keep doing it. So if me being excited about things, if me saying Returnal is my game of the year is problematic for you, that's weird, but okay. Like, you don't have to watch these videos. If me saying I'm really excited about Halo Infinite and I think it's going to be really, really good is my personal opinion. If that's problematic for you, okay, like, you don't have to watch this stuff. I'm not going to be offended. So yeah, that's the long and the short of it, really. I just kind of wanted to talk about this sort of interesting case. I'd love to hear what you think about the whole situation. People are excited about Xbox, and I think what people have gravitated towards is my ability to say, okay, this is really interesting what Xbox is doing. What could Sony's response be? What is their business strategy going to be with all this? And this video turned out a lot longer than this. Is just very candid. This is just me sort of off the cuff. It's just something I've noticed, and I hope it evens out. I think what's going on here actually is there is good competition right now between the two platforms. Both are doing really interesting things that we're excited about, right? Sony with their AAAs, with their incredibly fast hard drive, and the way that technology is being utilized on the PlayStation 5. Xbox with their services and their acquisitions of Bethesda and what that means for those other platforms. I think I might just make a video about like why I think that it's okay for Microsoft to acquire companies and then bolster their line of exclusives. Sony is going to have 25 exclusives in the next year. It is the biggest area of business that Xbox needed to improve, and they've been hammered for it for years. So, okay, here's their solution. They've purchased the company, and they're going to develop those games for their platform exclusively. I think that's just smart business. Maybe you have a differing opinion, but I think that's going to be for the next video. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope this wasn't too contentious of a conversation. Largely what I'm trying to say is maybe just tone it down a bit. Yeah, it really just bums me out. If you're telling me that I have to be robotic and I'm not allowed to be excited about things, that makes for a really boring human being, right? Let me be excited about stuff. I'm not going to tell you you shouldn't be excited about the PlayStation 5, and I'd appreciate it if you would let me be excited about what Xbox has been doing without labeling it anything that it is absolutely not. All right, that's it for this video. If you like these late night rambles, thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to consider subscribing, you can subscribe and at no cost. Wow, you can just click that button. You can click the bell too. One thing though, YouTube does have memberships. Memberships are turned on YouTube, and I have a small base of supporters. Thank you so much. I always say this at the end of every video. I turned that on. I never expected anything to happen, and you decided to support me anyway. So thank you to everybody who did that. And yeah, well, I hope this video goes over well and doesn't turn into a thing. Uh, Bye, everybody. See you for the next one.